side. Live doing some dog training socialization work right now with our trainers. Answering questions, talking to the chat. Doing some socialization work, dog training out here today. Got 4 of our dogs out here with our 4 trainers, doing some downstay work, just hanging out, getting the dogs used to performing their commands, performing what we ask of them in a public setting. Also be answering any questions best we can with our trainers here. You can't see Chad. Chad's out of frame right now. We're live. I can't see you, no. You gotta scoot in front of JC. There he is. Chad's got a special thing going on with one of his training dogs. He splurging on his dog with some ice cream right here. You're in there, you're in there. I see you in there. We got 2 golden retrievers out here. We got a corgi, and we have Maxwell, who, what's Maxwell's breed, do we know? Some kind of mutt? He's a Jack Russell mix. Enjoying some ice cream. It's hot out here, but we're in the shade, so it's probably 10 degrees less than what it would be in the actual sun. So we're big chilling out here. We're also reading the chat. What's up to everybody saying hello to us? Canine Revolution Live, downtown Summerville, South Carolina. Doing some socialization training. We are going to be answering some random questions if anyone has any. Otherwise, you can just watch us out here, hang out, and work. This is kind of what it looks like. People might think socialization training is, you know, intensive hard work, which it can be, but this is kind of what it looks like half the time. You're just out here hanging out with your dog. We got our golden retrievers in a downstay command right now, so their job is to remain in a down. So you might see them get up and move around, and if they do, you'll see the trainers issue a correction if they have to. Sometimes a verbal no is just enough. Hello, everybody saying hi to us. Hello, everybody. We got lead trainer Chad out here, right here at the edge of the camera if you can't see, enjoying a milkshake right now on the job. And if you haven't seen our most recent corgi video, that is one of our corgis, Quibbly. That's Quibbly the corgi out here chilling. And we got Maxwell, the Jack Russell mix right here on the ground. And we got our 2 golden retrievers over here on the right side of the screen. Hello, everybody saying hi to us. Just out here doing some socialization dog training. And Maxwell's getting some rubs in. He's feeling himself. He's feeling himself after some ice cream. We got 10 people in here right now. People are saying your dogs are cute. Danny, you want to tell me anything about the dog you got? What's his name?
His name's Freddie.
This is
a
year and a half old golden retriever.
Trained probably 6 months ago now.
6 months ago we trained him.
And my training dogs weren't ready for this
okay.
Level of socialization, so I decided to pick.
So just for context, we got Freddie out here, who's Danny's dog he's working with. This is a dog that's already been through our training program. The owners are on a trip. They're boarding him with us. So they get a little bit of extra training. When you board with us, sometimes we'll bring dogs out here that are in training or in boarding. and they'll just sharpen the training up with socialization, stuff like that. So Danny said that he has training dogs right now. How many training dogs you got right now?
Right now I'm at 4. I'm picking up
So
4 or 5 tomorrow.
Danny's got 4 dogs training right now. And you can see it live action right here. This is part of the socialization. Maxwell has a bite history, and he did just go after somebody that approached him too quickly. And Chad is ready with that leash. Luckily, he's a smaller dog because Chad's got his milkshake in his hand, but he's ready with Maxwell, working through some of that reactivity issue he has with people. So you get to see it right there, live action. That's kind of what it looks like when you got to handle a situation on the fly, See if we got any questions in here. Oh, well, Lion, ironic that you just said that because we just had a dog react. How do you handle people trying to pet your dog without permission? It's frustrating, very frustrating. We understand that. When I'm training, someone starts petting. Yeah, I mean, what we do, Danny, you want to answer this one? Someone's asking a question. They're frustrated when they're out training with their dog, someone just starts petting their dog. What do you do to kind of combat that?
Very common issue I deal with, especially with very lovable, pettable looking dogs. Usually I'm pretty nice with people. I'll just say like, hey, please don't pet right now. I'm focusing on some training. I might talk about what I'm doing, whether I'm teaching the dog how to interact with myself. Maybe I'm building focus, or maybe I'm just trying to establish some socialization with my dog, and I just want it to be used to the environment it's in. Maybe my dog is nervous, maybe it's stressed about the environment, so I want to teach it to calm down before interacting with those people. That might be an explanation I give to somebody, but most importantly, I'll just tell them I'm focusing on some training and that I would appreciate it if they didn't pet. And if they, if they try to pet my dog, I will get in between, especially if it's a dog that does not need to be pet. Whether it's a scared dog or a dog that has reactivity issues, I definitely want to be in control of my environment by making sure I'm not letting that person interact with my nervous dog. But that's how I do it.
So there you go. There's a good answer for you. And also, if you've watched our other content, podcast episodes, anything like that, Chad has spoken before. Sometimes you got to advocate for your dog, and sometimes that means you got to step in and prevent the situation from happening.
You can feel mean doing that, but remember why you're doing it. It's more important to do that, and again, be in control of what you're doing instead of letting your dog think you're not in control of the environment, especially if it's a nervous or stressed dog. Very important.
And I don't know if you guys saw that again. We had another reaction from Maxwell over here. Same guy. Chad's still. I'm gonna swing the camera just so you can see it. Chad's over here having a conversation with someone. We got a train pass. You might not be able to hear us. Maxwell lashed out one more time, or reacted, excuse me. And Chad's still ready with that leash. Not gonna let him go anywhere past the extent of that leash. It's our job as the trainer to not allow the dog to reinforce that bad habit, that bad behavior.
This is a perfect example right here. This is a perfect example. Maxwell's a very anxious, stressed, insecure dog. The reason he's reacting at people like this is because it's a fear-based thing. So he's, I don't know what his home environment's like, but Chad is showing Maxwell that he's in control of the environment. He's not going to let people interact with him while he's anxious like this. Maxwell still obviously has some reinforcement of practicing it, so it's an old habit that Chad's obviously trying to break by, again, showing Maxwell that he's got it under control. He's not going to let people interact with him if he's stressed or anxious like this.
Yep. So there it is. It ain't all, if you've watched our other videos, it probably seems like we got the training under control, but when you're in these live environments, you never know what's going to happen.
Exactly.
You always got to be ready. You always got to be ready. Any other questions we got here? Let's see. Nobody. Anybody watching right now? We're in Summerville, South Carolina, in the downtown district, historical downtown Summerville in South Carolina. We're in the shade right now. It's probably 10 degrees or more, less than it would be in the sun. So the dogs are hot. They're panting. They're just kind of sweating it out like me and Danny are. Danny's got sweat dripping off his nose. I'm wiping my sweat off my eyebrow here. So
I was gonna bring a French bulldog today, but I decided it wasn't best with the heat and everything.
Heat was too much. Yep. The short snouts on the Frenchies. We got some sploot action. I'm gonna move the tripod so you can see. We got a golden retriever splooting over here. Got some sploot action. My phone's about to fall out of the tripod. Here, Danny, hold the mic real quick.
Yes, sir. How's it going, everybody? Having some technical difficulties with our tripod here. Ben's on it, taking care of business. Oh yeah. I want to break that iPhone 17 Pro over there. Shoots a lot of videos on that thing.
Why don't I swap you out with Chris? Let me see. I'm gonna bring the tripod over here. We'll do one of these numbers right here so you can see me and Chris. And I can't read the chat. If anyone's asking questions, we are reading the chat. It's hard to read with how I got my phone configured. There we go. So Chris, trainer Chris, I don't know if you've seen Chad. Chad's had some Maxwell situations going on out here.
Yeah.
But who do you have right here?
We've got Oakley. This is Oakley. I think he's about 6 months. Golden, obviously.
And where are you at in your training progression with him?
We're almost done. We got like a week left. So he's been here for about 3 weeks. He's got one more week to go. Goes home next weekend.
Okay. So we're just finalizing some socialization.
Right. Yeah. Which we've done a lot of socialization, a lot of distraction work, but nothing on this level. So just kind of this is like a final test to make sure he can hold his downstays and not jump on people or go crazy. Or
That was his big issue, was jumping on people?
Yeah, he gets a little wild, gets a little, typical golden stuff, gets
Okay.
excited, very friendly, a little over friendly, that kind of stuff. But yeah, he's been doing
And
good.
for the final stage or the final week of training, normally we try to push the limits with the dogs, right? Max environment, like
Yeah.
busiest area we can go to. We got, on the weekends we have farmers markets that are slammed. If you've seen some of our older videos, you've seen us do some walkthroughs of that farmers market. We're at, like I was telling everybody earlier, historical downtown Somerville in South Carolina. This is third Thursday. So you can see some of the vendors behind us. We got vendors. There's all kinds of people coming out here. It's roughly probably 5:30-ish. So people are starting to get off work. They're starting to come out, grab a glass of wine or something. So it's good for the dogs. Perfect opportunity for the dogs to get some training in. And that's kind of what you want to go for if you're trying to do socialization, trying to take it to the next level. Push yourself and your dog to see if you can perform at these higher levels, if you will. We'll rotate over here to the corgi. We got Quibbly. Just asking you about your dog. And I was just telling people about the corgi video we did. This is Quibbly. And what's going on with Quibbly?
He's a good guy. Look at him. He's hanging out.
He's way over there. It's hard to see him from where we're at. But what is Quibbly's situation? What did he come to you for training for?
He came. He was just very crazy in the house. Was stealing items from his other doggy sibling, which was causing dog fights. Some reactivity, right? So we're teaching him a little bit of expectations, teaching him some engagement, and just working really on calming down out in different environments so that he can be out. He can have a good time, and his owners can have a good time when he comes home.
And where are you at in your training progression with Quibbly?
So he knows all obedience, so now we're working some socialization and generalizing distraction work, so just taking him out, making sure that he can do these things in different environments. He can focus on us in those different environments and have that good impulse control.
Awesome. Perfect. Thank you. JC, she's not a fan of being on camera as much as everybody else is, like Danny, who loves the spotlight. We'll reorient ourselves to where we can get most of our crew in the camera here. And another thing that happens at these larger events is you have kids, you have random people, like someone else in the chat was saying earlier, asking about how do you deal with people who just start petting your dogs. Sometimes you have kids that just come up, they're not asking their parents, they see the dog and they go for the dog. The trainer has to be ready to step in and say, hey, no petting, or yes, you can pet, stuff like that. That's just part of the job. We are reading the chat, so if you got any questions, float them our way. We got Neil saying his dog is in a board and train for 4 weeks. She's in week 3, learning the same thing. So, yep, very cool. We our lowest weeks that week of training is 4 weeks. That's our lowest, and we prefer the 6-week program just to finalize, any sort of hashing out of the training and stuff like that. So at 4 or 6 weeks, we also offer 8 weeks. So, but it sounds like you got that good 4-week training program going on, so that's good. Glad your dog is doing well. I'll just let you guys kind of take in what's going on out here. I won't stand in the way. If you got any questions or comments or anything, drop them in the chat. We're reading. And we are going to talk with Chad after he's done with his conversation. A lot of the times, too, out here is people just start talking to you. You have conversation, it is dog training, obviously, but if you do training a lot, in your public areas where you live, you start to meet other people from the area, business owners, a lot of kiosks and maybe not kiosks, but these little tents that we have, these booths, you get to know the owners and all that. So it can also be a community building aspect as well with the dog training going on. We'll get Chad's take here in a second. Let's see. Someone asked a question. Do you use an e-collar when doing socialization? Yes, all of these dogs out here are wearing e-collars, and that is our main way we use accountability. So let's say, Quibbly here stands up from his downstay. JC will say no, bump on the collar. And if you guys want to learn how to use e-collars, we have e-collar podcast episodes on our channel. We have the beginner's guide to e-collar training on our channel, so check those out if you kind of want to learn more about that process. But we got Chad out here with Maxwell. Let's see what he can give us a breakdown. Are you done with this milkshake yet, bro?
I'm pretty much done with it, but did you guys
What's going on? We saw Maxwell. We saw Maxwell.
So my buddy, James Brown, famous boiled peanuts over there. We see him every year at the farmer's market. But so Maxwell, obviously,
take care of this for
I
you?
got it. Maxwell obviously reacted at him the first time when he first walked up on me, and I wasn't expecting it, right? But I had my leash. I said no. I grabbed the remote collar. I did give him a correction. He laid back down. Me and James Brown, famous boiled peanuts. We keep talking. We're literally just standing there talking. Maxwell is laid out. He's got his hips rocked over, and he got up and went after him again. And that time I had the remote in my hand, so I said no, gave a correction, laid down, made sure I tightened up on the leash a little bit, still keeping the leash loose. I'm not going to apply tension to the leash until, I need to give a correction. You don't want to keep that bad energy on the leash. So I was just keeping it relatively loose, but short enough to where if he reacted again, I could say no and correct him immediately. And Maxwell's background is being very reactive to people, very reactive to dogs, very reactive to everybody. That's why he's in behavior modification training. And that's why, even though, that for a lot of people that would be embarrassing, this is part of the training process, that if I come out somewhere and you react, I have to teach you the rules, boundaries, expectations to where you don't get to do that, right? And the way that we teach that at this level of training, because we've went through all of our prerequisites, we've went through the foundation, we are now at the stage of training where we're taking him out into town and going into live scenarios, live situations that the owner wants to go into, right? And so the only way to make sure that his training is proofed at this level is to go through these situations and be aware. But when you're training a reactive dog or you're rehabilitating a formerly reactive dog, you always have to pay attention to your environment. You have to be ready, but you have to have real life situations. The owner is probably going to want to enjoy a milkshake.
That's yep.
Right, with her dog. And so she has to be able to do that. Maxwell's looking at you now.
I know, yeah. Maxwell, don't try it, brother. Don't try it. So where are you at? You might have just covered it. Where are you at in Maxwell's training progression at this very time?
So if you're familiar with our training progression, we are at the distraction level part of training. So we've done engagement, we've done eye contact, we've done relationship building, we've done leash pressure, we've done obedience training, starting with muscle memory for obedience, then proofing it with putting the obedience on cue and command. Then we went through leash corrections to teach them that, hey, if you disobey, you are going to be corrected. That starts with the leash. Then we went through remote collar conditioning. Then we went through socialization. Now we are at distraction training. We're still finishing up off-leash training, so we're basically toward the tail end of his training program. But training doesn't end when the program ends. Training,
right.
You're just
Lifelong.
graduating. You're just graduating from the program to maintenance of training long term. And there's a transition period with him going back home to his owners. So that's where we're at right now. But he has come a long way. He has come a long way.
Come a long way.
From the beginning to where he's at.
And we saw those two situations. We got it on the live, so I might have to clip that, turn that into a short later. Let me read some of the comments here. Awesome, we'll go and watch the videos. Yeah, Neil, check them out, brother. Appreciate you stopping by. How can I help my newly blind dog regain confidence? She's terrified to move. Ooh, let me bring that over to our lead trainer if he can answer that question. We also got some splooting going on. How can how can I help my newly blind dog? Newly blind. So did you just have surgery or something where you had to remove the eyes to where your dog became blind? What is the situation? Oh, maybe you just got the dog. My newly blind dog to regain confidence. Trainer Chris, we got a question, and someone says they just got a blind dog, a newly blind dog, and they said, how can they promote its confidence? It seems to be scared of everything.
Yeah, well, first I would point you to our YouTube.
We do have a playlist on our channel of multiple videos, probably 5 to 6 videos of a dog that we went through the beginning to the end. But what would be a quick, 2 cents?
Yeah, so it just depends on what is making the dog uncomfortable, But food is great, a great way to do it, like establishing engagement. If we take the blindness out or whatever, like any of these dogs, we always start with engagement. So the principle is the same, but you might start somewhere where there's going to be a low arousal. You may not move as fast as a dog that has full sight or all of those senses, right? You might go in like your living room and start playing engagement games where you can hold the food. Trust me, they will smell it. That's a stronger sense than even their sight. They need that more so than anything. So you just want them to follow that food around in your living room. When you start to play that game, you take it out to different places. You might do it in your front yard, and then you go down to the park, and you can go down to, come out so you can get out to an environment like this, and your dog's less concerned about what's going on around them. They're more engaged with you and the food, right? So it's really no different than a dog with full sight. Just might take you a little longer.
Snowball effect, start in your living room, start in a comfortable area, and then slowly build from there. There's no need to rush it.
Yeah.
Listen to some of our other podcast episodes we have on our channel about how to build trust with your dog, how to build their confidence through engagement, focus building games. It really is the foundation. If you've kept up with our content, it's probably the thing we harp on the most is engagement, focus building, stuff like that. So appreciate that, Trainer Chris. See if we got any more comments in here. Oh, she had an eye removed. Oh, she had an eye removed 4 years ago, and they recently had to do the other eye. So the dog recently became blind. They've had the dog, though, for a while. Says it's impossible to engage with her. She's so anxious. That's what they're saying.
Yeah,
Let me walk over here with you.
Yeah, and that makes sense that that's a big life change. So that can definitely bring on the onset of a lot of anxiety and whatnot. But the principles are still the same. You want to find a place where there's minimal to no anxiety to start to establish this game of engagement, right? And again, check out the YouTube for the different ways that we play engagement. But start in a place where you can start to build this game where there's minimal anxiety, and then slowly increase the anxious environments, right? Build it up very, very slow. And it might take time, and you might have to manipulate hunger drives and things like that, where maybe you do this for mealtime. Like your dog is just a little bit extra hungrier than normal. And so instead of just giving them their meal like normal, I might take my meal and hand feed them in this environment that's very calming, that they're used to, until they start to play this game, right? And just chasing food out of my hand, letting them follow me, that kind of stuff. And you move slow at first. Like if you move so fast, you might obviously, they're not going to be able to track you or whatever.
Yeah, they can't see it, right?
But she'll smell. She will be able to sense it, and she'll be able to track it. So you just move nice and slow, and then again, gradually go to where we're bringing anxiety into the mix. And if you find yourself where you lose that, you establish the game in the calm environment, but then let's say I go outside and all of a sudden I've lost it all. I might have moved too fast. And so what's the in-between? How can I move it even slower to get to where they will take the food in that environment?
Right, yeah. Appreciate that, Chris. And check out some of our other content. If you want to learn more, maybe we can do a podcast episode on that. So drop it in our comments. We're always reading comments. So appreciate you, Amy, for dropping that comment in here. Hope we could help you in some way. So we are reading comments. If anyone has any questions, we're here. If you want to say, what's this dog's name, we're out here. We got 2 golden retrievers. We got a corgi, we just did a corgi video, and we also have Maxwell Jack Terrier Russell mix, or Jack Russell mix. Sorry, Jack Terrier. Stumbling my words here. And we got Chad out here. Milkshake's gone.
Completely Destroyed. Milkshake completely destroyed. I would give it 5 out of 10.
5 out of 10. That's
Maybe
low.
7 out of 10. 7 out of 10.
Don't put anyone
Bad
on.
Daddy's Burger Bar. That's a 10 out of 10. Bad Daddy's Burger
Chad
Bar.
loves a good restaurant.
Hey, let me make it clear though. I don't drink milkshakes every day. I don't drink milkshakes every day.
So if Chad's wife is watching this, he's covering his ass. No, I don't think so. All right, we got some other comments. How do I make my dog stay? We're answering questions. I will say first thing, we have a great video on our channel for teaching the down, teaching the stay. Any extra notes to add?
3 aspects to teaching a downstay. First is duration. That's just the amount of time that the dog is staying in a certain position. You're going to teach that with food rewards to begin. You're going to titrate off the food rewards as training continues on. But you reward your dog just for laying down for a duration or an interval of time. Once your dog is comfortable with a interval of time, about 15 minutes or so in a position, then you start working on distance. That's the second thing. That's distance from you to your dog. So you back up, your dog maintains the downstay, you say good, you reward, you move around them, right? You make sure that you can move all over the place and that they will remain in position. If they get up, you're just gonna walk your dog right back to where they were. You're gonna say no, you're gonna make sure they go right back down, right? Then the last piece is distraction, and that's what we're doing tonight, where you go out to different locations away from your house and you work on your downstay in different places away from the normal places that you're usually at. Hopefully that makes sense, but check out the video for sure.
Yeah, definitely check out our video. Let's check other comments here. Amy, we have an awesome trainer on board, thankfully. All right, glad to hear that. Honestly, just desperate for advice. I appreciate the help, absolutely. Hopefully you can take some of the pieces that Chris gave you and start practicing yourself. Indonesia, hello. How you guys doing across the sea over there? Awesome. Well, we are in, for anyone who just now tuned in, we are in downtown Summerville, South Carolina. It is about 6 p.m. here. We are doing some socialization training, distraction training. We're proofing some obedience out here just by being out here in a busy environment. We got 4 different dogs out here. We got 2 Goldens, we got a Corgi, and we got a Jack Russell mix. Give you guys some Golden Retriever action right now.
What's his name? Nice one. Maxwell? Yeah. What's up, Maxwell?
We're also answering any questions in the chat. So if you got a question, drop a question in here. We're always trying to read and have a conversation with people. Hello from the UK. UK, what's up, baby? Got a hello from the UK going on over here.
Appreciate our UK
And Indonesia. Indonesia,
appreciate you guys.
Can't hear you.
We appreciate everybody, UK, Indonesia, wherever you're at. We appreciate you watching. Hopefully you're finding some value in our channel. We appreciate you being here. You are part of the revolution.
Absolutely.
Canine Revolution is worldwide. Canine Revolution is worldwide.
Canine Revolution is worldwide. We'll give you some, let me get the right camera angle here. All right. How do you train your 6-month-old puppy from jumping on people? Okay, let me see. We got another question. Since Chad ain't got much going on, we'll stick with Chad here, which I will say, most of these questions, we have long-form videos on our channel. Always go to our channel and check out some of our videos on there. But we got someone asking, how do they stop their 6-month-old dog from jumping on people?
Jumping, you've got 2 main things you want to focus on. First of all, do not reward your dog for jumping up. So we're all used to, and I'm training a puppy right now that's jumping, but the first thing you're doing is you're making sure that if they jump, you don't talk to them, you don't touch them. You basically want to step away. You basically want to, if you have a leash ready, keep the leash to keep them off of you. No petting right here. No petting right here. And then, once your dog puts all 4 paws on the ground, then you say good, you come forward, you pet them. You make sure there's a distinction between, if there's 2 paws off the ground or even 1 paw off, you get nothing, right? No touch, no talk, none of that stuff. As soon as all 4 paws are on the ground, now you get the attention. So you have to make that distinction. Once you make that distinction, they'll stop jumping.
And check out the video on our channel. It goes more into depth on that. Happy to see the new beauty of nature. So hope that answered your question, Laura. Thanks for asking. Hello from Portugal.
Portugal. Hey, we got some alumni they have a couple houses, a couple people that we work with in Somerville, South Carolina. They have houses in Portugal. They love Portugal.
Oh, yeah.
Great place. They're trying to get me to come out there and stay in their house.
Oh, shoot. Well, it sounds like one of our viewers got a place for you to stay. We'll get a question for Trainer JC if we can get one. Anyone got questions, drop them in the chat. We're reading the chat. They also say Brazil is great. We've heard good things about Brazil. Someone called Chad cute. Oh, Danny, thoughts on that? Is Chad cute? Someone called Chad cute.
He is cute. Danny thinks I'm cute. He is cute. I agree.
He's a cute guy?
He's a cute boss.
Cute like this guy right here. You wanna tell anyone about the dog you had? Maybe they're new viewers. I know you already.
Yeah, this is Freddie. He's one of our boarding dogs. So dogs that we that go through our training program, the owners can board them with us when they go on a vacation and things like that. I have 4 training dogs I'm working with right now that are relatively new to our training program, so they're not fully complete with their obedience training and everything like that, to the point where they're ready for this type of environment. So Freddie was here boarding with us. He's here for about a month or so while his family's wherever they are. And so I decided to take him out to do some extra training with him, and he's doing really well.
Getting some extra training, sharpening up some behaviors, just added piece of boarding with us after training is completed. Hello from Cleveland, Ohio. Love them doggos. Shout out Cleveland. What's up, baby? Drop any questions in the chat. We're out here doing some socialization and distraction work training for dogs. If you're new, we're just getting these dogs familiar with the environment, and Danny's gonna go take a lap, do some healing training, doing some healing around, which, still gonna help the dogs. Still, you can't just do downstays the whole time. Trying to get the right angle for you guys here. Get some eyes on some dogs. Jump rules. Got hello from Cleveland, Ohio. Chris, what do you know about Cleveland, Ohio? Go.
Close to nothing. Actually, I would say
Close to Canada.
I've not been north of Virginia.
Yeah.
So
Chris is a southern guy.
But hey, we got a lot of Ohio people here in South Carolina. So.
Oh, we do. That's kind of a running joke in South Carolina, is that everyone from Ohio moves to South Carolina. We do have a lot of people down here for it. Any questions? Drop them in the chat. We're answering dog training questions, dog behavior. We're kind of just hanging out here doing some socialization training with our dogs. We got some waters going on. Danny went and grabbed. Oh, for me too. Appreciate you, my man. So we'll give you guys some chat action here. He's gonna give some water to his dog. I rescued a 3-year-old husky and have a 6-year-old cocker spaniel, but they cannot be together yet. Do you have any advice on how to introduce them? Would functional obedience help? Let me float you on over to Trainer JC for this question. Bring you guys a little bit closer. So you just got your husky, or you rescued a husky, and you have a 6-year-old cocker spaniel, and they cannot be together yet. Let's go ask you. We got some water action going on. We're gonna get down here with Trainer JC and Quibbly. We're gonna ask a question. So this person has they just got a 3-year-old husky. They have a 6-year-old cocker spaniel. They cannot be around each other just yet. They want to know if functional training would assist in that.
Functional training would assist, right? I mean, first it depends on how long you have the dogs. They got time that they need to settle into the home, but I would be starting off with a lot of structure, right? A lot of people get a dog, especially rescues, and they want to just let them, get adjusted and do whatever it is they want. But this is the critical time to start creating that foundation and creating the structure so they know what to expect, and then it makes that transition into getting them together a lot easier.
Perfect.
We got YouTube videos and things like that.
We do. I was going to say we literally have a podcast episode that would be perfect for your question. It's on our channel. It's probably less than an hour. I don't remember the exact time length on it, but please go check that video out. And Chad will walk you through each step you'll need to take in order to have them coexisting together. So appreciate your comment. Hey guys, new here from Cali, looking for a loving home for my Doberman. Let me know if you're interested in a working dog. Appreciate you asking. We do not rehome dogs. We train dogs. What do you do about an elderly Russell Terrier that keeps barking? Sure. All right, Danny, I got a question for you here. This person says they got an elderly Russell Terrier that keeps barking at nighttime. won't shut up.
Really?
Any advice you can offer?
I actually just trained a dog recently that was doing the same thing. I don't know if it's the same case for you, but for majority of dogs that are barking at random things like that, it's likely rooted in anxiety. So that's what you want to address is the anxiety. For dogs with anxiety, I mean, for you, I mean, obviously, we work with dogs that are trained, so our communication is very clear. So when dogs do things that we don't want them to do, we're fair to, communicate that to them in one way or another. But for you, I mean, I would try to address the best you can. You can buy like a sound machine. That's one thing that I've heard of people using, just to kind of eliminate that background noise from outside. But again, you want to address the anxiety and teach your dog that you're in control of whatever environment you're in, right? So some training can help with that. Some, whether it's training inside the house, in any anxious environment where your dog is anxious, if you can teach your dog to focus on you, that's a huge tool. Obviously, in the middle of the night, you're not really focusing on getting your dog to focus on you. You're just worried about going to bed and getting your dog to stop barking. But address it the best you can. I don't know if that's putting your dog into a kennel at night. Maybe that's easier for your dog. Maybe away from the window or anything like that, or away from where the noise are happening, because one piece of it is not letting your dog continue to practice it, right? The more your dog practices barking at random things at night, the more habitual it's going to be and the worse the problem's going to become. So number one, try to limit your dog practicing that. Number two, try to teach your dog that it can focus on you in those anxious moments and that you're in control of the environment. That's my two pieces of it.
Also, another one that's crossing my head is maybe exercise, maybe wear your dog out a little bit more before it's time to rest for the evening. So I appreciate your question. Thank you, Trainer Danny. Let's see, any other question? Thank you very much. I'll watch the video. I rescued the husky from the street 2 months ago. Yeah, check that video out. It's great information in there. All right, Chad, closing remarks. We're gonna wrap up our live here. Thanks for everybody stopping in. If you haven't already, check out our channel. If you're new to our channel, check it out, subscribe. We do new videos every week. We got podcast videos every week coming out with great information. A lot of the questions that people are asking today, we have videos ready to go.
Yep.
So check out our channel. Chad, any final comments?
Coming up soon is our peptides for dog video. So if you're into holistic medicine or medicine that's kind of outside of the normal traditional medicine for dogs, you'll definitely want to stick around and watch that one. I'm super pumped to get that information out to you guys. We did a ton of research on that video, so hopefully you find that useful. But we've also done the dog food tier list. If you haven't watched that, you definitely need to watch the dog food tier list. You'd be very surprised about what's in your dog's food and how to evaluate dog food. Check out that, and then also the supplements for dog video as well. That way, those all came from my own research, wanting to give my dogs better food, better supplements to help them as they start aging, because my own dog's pretty old. So I did all that research. I was like, wow, it blew my mind. So I'm like, we need to get this out to people so they can understand it as well. A little bit different than training. Obviously, training is our main thing, but also nutrition, health, all these things play into our training and our behavior. So I think it's important. But we always appreciate your feedback. So thank you for all the feedback you guys
Absolutely.
give.
Thanks, guys. Remember to sub to the channel if you want to see more. We might start doing more lives like this when we come out for socialization work. So if you're subscribed to our channel, you'll get that notification. And we're going to roll out, guys. Thanks for